To get started, you will need 3 to 4 pounds of pork meat. I am using pork shoulder meat. On to my chiles. I will be using 4 chile anchos. I'm also going to be using 2 chile árbol. I'm also going to be using 5 chile guajillos. And I'm just going to remove the stem and all the seeds from all of the chiles. Some water, and that's what I will be steeping my chiles in. Okay, so now that they're all cleaned, I am going to let my chiles steep in this hot water for at least 30 minutes.
Other ingredients that I will be using, I have half of a large onion. You could use a whole onion, this one is just really large, so I have it. I'm also going to be using a bunch of garlic. Use however much garlic you like, and if you don't like fresh garlic or you don't have it, use garlic powder. I'm also going to be using 2 bay.
1 tablespoon of kosher salt. I'm going to be using 2 teaspoons of ground cumin. Here, 1 full tablespoon of dried oregano. Here I have 2 chicken flavored bouillon cubes, and I'm using the Knorr brand. I'm going to mix this up until it's combined. And this is also going to be going into our pozole. Okay, here I have an 8-quart stock pot, and in it I have about 4 to 4.5 liters of water. Now I'm just going to add my pork meat, and next I'll be adding 1 tablespoon of kosher salt and let it cook for about an hour. And I almost forgot, I'm also going to be adding 2 bay leaves. This is actually 30 minutes of boiling at a hard boil, and all of this scum and foam has produced. So now what I'm going to do is remove all of this. Okay, so while the pork meat is boiling, here I have my chiles. They are nice and soft. And now I am just going to add my onion, which I have roughly chopped. And I'm also going to add my roughly chopped garlic. I also decided to add my tablespoon of dried oregano. I'm going to add about a cup of the chicken broth. Okay, so now that my chile is pureed and blended, I am going to strain it. Okay, so my pork has been boiling for an hour, or a little over an hour. So I'm going to add the rest of our chicken stock. And the reason why I didn't add the chicken stock first is because I knew I was going to take out some of the liquid while removing the foam and scum, and you don't want the chicken flavor, you know, to be removed. So I'm just going to give that a good mix. And now I'm going to add my pureed chiles, but first I'm going to add the 2 teaspoons of ground cumin to the puree and just give that a mix. And into the pot it goes, and you don't want to lose any of that puree, so I'm actually going to dunk this bowl into the broth or the stock, and just to make sure I get all of that wonderful chile puree and flavor out of the bowl. Now that I've added all of the ingredients, I am going to give it a good mix, and I'm going to bring this up to a boil. Now it has been 1 hour, and I want to show you how soft and tender the meat has become. And at this point, I think my meat is ready for the next step, and that would be adding the hominy. Here I have about 5 to 6 cups of white hominy. And now that I've added my hominy, I'm going to let this whole pot cook for an additional 30 to 45 minutes, or until the hominy comes out tender. It still has to have its texture and a bite to it, but right now it's a little too hard to just start eating. So you want to let your pozole continue to cook for about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, the pozole is on the last leg of cook time. I want to discuss toppings. And traditional toppings for pozole is shredded cabbage. I have diced onion. And let's not forget my favorite, lime. I have some lime wedges. And I also like to serve this with additional dried oregano. Okay, so my pozole is done. So now I am just going to serve myself a bowl and dress it accordingly to the way I like my pozole. And I just want to show you how wonderful everything came together. The broth is perfect and the meat is tender, the hominy is done. So now all there's left to do is add my toppings. I'm going to add some shredded cabbage, a little bit of diced onion, and of course, my favorite, a squeeze of lime. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.